What's going on, guys? So today's project is going to be the front brakes on this E36 M3, and the problem here is I have a sticky caliper, and I found it out after I replaced my rotor and my pads. I was just driving down the road, and all of a sudden I could smell the brake compound, so I stopped and I saw this basically smoking. So this caliper here is sticking, and it's I'm an idiot for not checking it when I replaced the pads, so I'm gonna do the job twice. So we're gonna remove the caliper, and we're gonna see if it's rebuildable or if I'm gonna need a brand new caliper altogether. And that's gonna depend on the shape of the piston. If you see a lot of pitting on it, I'm probably gonna just replace it. But if there isn't, hopefully we can just get away with replacing the seals, which I think are about $25 from BMW. So let's work on that. Alright, so here's the caliper, and had I looked more carefully when I changed my pads, I would have seen this seal here is very cracked. So, well, we're gonna take apart this caliper and see if it's rebuildable. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick an air hose from my compressor here and blast it with compressed air in order to get this piston out of this caliper. And a good tip is to stick like a piece of wood here or something, so when it shoots out, and you're gonna see it's gonna shoot out with some velocity to it. It's not gonna go flying. It's just gonna hit this piece of block of wood. As you can see, this piston is actually in pretty good shape, so I'm just gonna clean it up. I'm gonna replace the seals, and this caliper should be almost as good as new. Okay, after a little bit of wait, my new seals for the caliper have finally arrived. I used ATE because that's OEM. For things like seals, you want to make sure that you use quality parts. So there, we have 2 seals here, and the original part had seemingly 3 seals, but actually those are just 2. This one is just a part of that actually disintegrated. So first things first, I'm gonna grab the small guy, and that's actually gonna go inside of our caliper. I have cleaned inside this bore with a wire brush. So we're gonna install this gasket in here first. Just make sure that it sits nice inside this groove. The next part, and I've heard it's a bit tricky, but you want to install it like this. You basically want to put this seal here on our piston, and then you're gonna insert it all together just to make sure that it sits correctly. So here's an important thing to note. You can probably see this pretty well here. So this part that's sticking out, that's gonna go towards the caliper. So when you put it on this piston, put the other side on first. Just like so. Okay, there we go. Okay, now I'm also going to use this little plastic tool to help this seal along. Alright. And actually a good tip that I saw online is you can lubricate this seal here with brake fluid. So that's what I'm going to do. Alright, looks like we are fully seated. And now I'm gonna take my C-clamp and push it all the way in. I'm just making sure that it's going in straight. Actually, I think it's easier to give it a few taps with a hammer, but don't be too hard on it. Just tap. Alright, as you can see, we have a nice seal all the way around. So now we're ready to put this back in the car.